can you have healthy hair when you wear protective styles majority of the time? What would you say is a healthy balance of using a protective style like wigs, braids, versus an unhealthy balance between using these protective styles? To what extent are we like leaving the protective styles in? Because I'm not gonna lie, when I have braids in, I'm not washing my hair.
Your version of healthy is not gonna be my version of healthy. There are people who genuinely believe, and for a long time I believe, oh, shedding is normal. Shedding is normal. Then you see it and you're like, oh, I just had normal.
I think there's multiple things that we can address from people's comments, because I feel like
That's always fun.
I'm not gonna eat this on camera. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna save that. Y'all, we back. We are back, okay? Because there are multiple things we need to address since the last time we were here. Okay? Okay, well, how was it for you getting all that like feedback and attention from the video?
I love it. I love education.
Yeah.
I love education. It's really one of my passions. Truly.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love when people, and I love skeptics.
Yeah.
They're always the best. You know why? Because I'm a skeptic.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to be like, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. I got questions.
And I love that about
And
you.
I need
Because you're
answers.
like very like, no, I've already done the digging and the filtering,
I picked it apart for you.
right before it came out of my mouth. I'd have already gone through. But I just thought that was, well, first off, I did not expect it to get like as many views as it got. Like I was not expecting it to do that well, but it did. No, it's good. It's good. It's done well. So yeah. So let's look at these comments.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I've also created a free roller set and go guide that you can download at jadegodbolt.com. This guide has everything you need to jumpstart your roller set journey. All the products, all the tools, all the tips, everything is in this guide. And while you're sitting under that dryer, why not read something for your soul, something good? Catch me on Substack at Under the Dryer with Jade Godbolt, where here we're talking about hair, but over there we're talking about your heart.
Do it.
This comment has 341 likes. So it says, there are way too many black women who use wigs and braids as a protective style with very long hair under those styles. Probably millions. I think the key is to ensure your real hair under the protective style is healthy. Regular trims, deep conditioning, etc. Also, inside health and genetics play a role too. Deeper Than Hair channel educates very well on this subject.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we agree.
We agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we agree with that.
There is a way of preparing the hair underneath those styles to preserve most of the hair. Nobody's denying that. Absolutely. There's always a way to make it better.
Right.
It doesn't take away from the fact that they are still convenient styles. They are not protecting the hair when braids, we all know long-term braid use can cause damage. Right. We see it on the hairline. Right. Just like wigs. We see it on the hairline. We see it on the inside, on the crown of the head. We can't deny that. We see it, and especially being in the salon, this is what I see on a regular basis. I have clients who come to me that have chronically used braids. They have used wigs. They have used all these convenient style sew-ins.
And what would you say, because you said have chronically used these styles, what would you say is a healthy balance of using a protective style like wigs, braids, versus an unhealthy balance between using these protective styles?
So unfortunately, I think that's a case-by-case basis. You know why? Because like she did say in her comment, and we've said in the previous video, genetics, internal health play a role in everything.
Right.
If you are weak internally, say for instance, you already are struggling with hormonal issues and you consistently wear braids, most of the time, guess what? Your perimeter is going to be taxed. It's going to be.
Because it's a hormonal thing.
Yes.
So like that's specifically your edges.
Specifically, most of the time. It has, there's other things, like other points of the inside your internal organs that also it speaks to, but a lot of times there is a hormonal component. So again, that's a case-by-case base. When rule of thumb for me is stop. Most of the time we see small signs of damage. We all do.
Yeah.
We can act as if we don't because it is convenient. Again, I keep going back to the convenience because we will overlook a lot of things for convenience.
Right. And that's okay, because it's a matter of like, what do you sign up for? If you know that this is going to be somewhat more convenient than healthy, that's okay if you choose that. We're not saying you can't do anything.
No, you choose
It's just the reality of the situation, knowing like the choices that you're making and what impact it can have.
Absolutely. And that's with any decision, right? We're not here to tell people what to do, but I am here to inform people of what I see on a regular basis within the salon.
Right.
And again, this is what I do. It's what I do. It's what I see.
Yeah.
So a lot of clients who come to me and are trying to restore their hair health are coming out of those styles, right? It's not because they've been maintaining their natural hair.
Yeah.
It's because they're coming out of those styles. And one thing that's really interesting to me is people always equate long hair to health. That is one of the deciding factors. Oh, it's long, it's healthy.
Right.
No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that term? And I don't know if people are I don't know if people get offended by this term, but they call it when people are super, super thin. And they might appear to be healthy, right? Because their figure doesn't show signs of weight as some. Right. And they automatically assume they're healthy.
Yeah, because they're skinny.
Does not mean you're healthy. There are people who are slim that are struggling with health issues, right? There are people who are genetically inclined to have a nice figure, but it doesn't mean they're internally healthy. It's the same thing with long hair.
Yeah.
And yes, genetic factors play a huge role in all of this. Like I always say, it starts inside.
Right.
So,
yeah, that makes sense, because I think like a lot of people don't necessarily look at hair from a holistic perspective, which is what we've talked about before, is like you have to look at your hair as part of your entire body, and the internal aspect, what's coming out of your scalp, matters when it comes to like how a protective style is going to affect your hair. Some people are super healthy, they're working out regularly, they're eating right, so when they do braids or whatever, maybe it's not impacting them as much. But also it's like, to what extent are we like leaving the protective styles in? Because I'm not gonna lie, when I have braids in, I'm not washing my hair. I'm not washing my braids. I know some people do, but like part of me is just like, the whole point of the convenience is it makes your life easier and more simple, and you don't have to quote unquote worry about your hair. But that's a slippery slope, because then you get into a pattern or a habit of like not wanting to care for your hair because it's just easier. Keep getting braids or keep getting sew-ins or whatever it may be. And then to expect also at the same time that your hair is going to flourish as if you didn't have it like, you know, confined to a braid or confined underneath a wig or something, is like, it's almost like not fair to have the expectation. Can you have healthy hair when you wear protective styles majority of the time?
Where there's a will, there is a way. Right? Where there is a will, there is a way. Listen, I am not here to debate whether you can or can't. Of course, in situations there are. There is no denying that. Nobody is saying it's all or nothing. Nobody's saying like, oh, no, it'll never happen. No, absolutely. There are cases where people's hair, when they're maintaining it underneath, but that most of the time is not the case.
Right.
So let's not fool ourselves. Let's not clown and act like, oh, I maintain my hair perfectly. Every 8 weeks, I get my trims. Every 4 weeks, I'm taking that wig off. Every couple weeks. No, we're not. So you can tell yourself that all day. Awesome. If you want to die on that hill, I want that for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I want that for you.
If you've got the regimen,
do it. I love it. And you know what? Go ahead. Let me know something. Send me that. Let me know. I do. I want to know. I want to see it. I do, because I'm a skeptic too, and I'm always out there searching for what works. If there is a way for something to work, I'm down. I'm gonna listen.
I'm open to it.
I love my clients to have convenience. I don't tell clients not to get braids. But what I do tell them is we ain't staying in them all summer long. Right. I just in fact added to my service list a braid prep service.
Oh, really?
For clients who do want to treat their hair It comes with the hydrocell and the trim. We prep it. We get you into braids. I've always told clients to utilize braids at certain times.
Yeah.
Again, there has to be a plan.
Yeah.
And not to stay in them. So I don't care, and I'll die on this hill. If you stay in braids and wigs, no matter if you treat that hair or not, you are going to be bald somewhere in your head. I will die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. I will. There is going to be some level of damage to the perimeter.
Because it's like the tension too, right? Like constantly.
And there is this one creator, I wish I could find him. He's so funny. This is an old video I watched, but he was talking about wigs. And it was so funny because he's like, have you walked around with a pillow on your face all day? Why?
What?
Why? Because you can't breathe, right? That's what you're doing to your hair follicles.
Ooh.
Right? So you cover up those follicles because that's what a wig does. And yes, we can get into, there's different type of wigs. Okay, yes, there are. Let's just talk about the good old standard wig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's just talk.
That fully covers
the wig, and now we're doing closures and all of that. Okay, let's talk about those.
Yeah.
So he's like, because you can't breathe. Your follicle can't either.
Right.
Okay. Right. And people are leaving them in for extended amounts of time. And you know what's so funny? Because in fact, I actually do have a client. She's so near and dear and true to my heart. I absolutely love her. I won't put her name out there, but so she was dealing with hair loss. We don't know why. It started out of nowhere. And I told her, I said, hey, listen, this is above me. You need to go. I referred her out. And we started to look into some internal issues, right?
Okay.
It ended up being the case. So what she wanted to do during that time was to stop messing with her hair at all. Guess what she did? She got wigs.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? Because she was a person that her job, she had a certain
she had to
wanted to give. And I wanted that for her. You know, I wanted her to feel good. She's such a beautiful woman, and I love that there are wigs and options for that, right?
And there should be.
Absolutely.
Right.
So she went through the process. It was about a year. So what she would do is she would come in, we would treat her hair periodically. Sometimes she wouldn't. She worked with a nutritionist as well as a dermatologist, all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, there was significant hair loss in the crown, and I mean large. Okay, so she worked
like
with
it was
wigs.
falling out.
It was gone. It was gone. So I had never seen that extreme to where it came back. So I was really concerned. I was just like,
man.
I'm gonna do what I can, but it's pretty much out of my hands, or out of my expertise, I should say.
Yeah.
So anyways, so a year went by, and during that time, she was actually staying braided under wigs. She had a very specific regimen. She had this certain net that was made that was like, it was a certain ventilation that it provided. She would take
underneath
the wig off.
her wig.
She would take the wig off every single night. She kept her hair plaited a certain kind of way, very little tension, which she does have fine hair. She would take it off every night, and this was not something she did, except it was for work, right?
Got it.
Her hair is back. Her hair is back.
Wow.
Her hair is back. So again, there are ways. I'm not saying that. But nobody is also as particular and intentional as she is, and she's so intentional.
Well, and it's like she was going through clearly like a whole body like health thing where it was like her hair was probably her, the one thing that she did want to utilize as like a way to like see growth and progress in her health state, right? Like in her condition. Because like she can physically see, right? And that's sometimes like what we can use our hair for. Like if we look at our hair, our edges, our nape of our neck, all these things, and we have breakage or whatever, it's like that's an indicator of a condition you may be going through, whether you're in a healthy state or whether there might be something going on. And we don't honor what our hair can help us do and realize that way. We just look at it as like a vanity metric, really, of like, do I look good with my hair looking like this or that or whatever? And it's like your hair is actually so much more than that, and it's actually something that helps you in a lot of ways if you were able to see it for like a bigger purpose than just like vanity. And I feel like a lot of people like are losing that part of it. Even like the idea of protective style. A protective style ain't braids and wigs with synthetic hair.
It's not.
It's 2-strand twists with your own hair. It's, it's micro locks. It's sister locks. That's a protective style because you can still wash your hair every week, whatever. You can still, moisturize your hair, all that. So it's like, we can't just call everything that ain't you wearing your hair out a protective style.
And you know what's so interesting about this conversation and the conversations that I have often is people's definition of healthy. There is not a true standard. Your version of healthy is not going to be my version of healthy. There are people who genuinely believe nowadays, and for a long time I believe, that, shedding is normal. Shedding is normal. Then you see it and you're like, I've just had normal. It is to a degree, yes.
Okay.
There
I'm like, wait,
there is a resting, shedding, and phasing. But
right.
then that's why I bring this up, because I'm like, everybody's definition is different,
yeah,
right? So then when they come to me and they're like, I just had normal shedding and I have clumps of hair. I'm like, this is not normal shedding, right? And then there's phases in hair. It's not, your shedding phase is not a constant phase.
Right.
It's a phase.
Right.
So if you're experiencing this consistently, hey, we got to check it out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Something else is going on.
Yes. So again, everybody's definition of healthy is normal. What they see is what they believe. And if they see that their hair is long, they believe it's healthy. I'm not here to debate that. You know what I mean? I'm not here to debate that. If that's what you feel, I love it for you.
Right.
If you like it, I love it.
Right. It seems like it's very extreme. Like either your hair is long and super healthy or it's breaking off. Somebody won't tell you that your hair is unhealthy unless it's like extremely unhealthy.
Boom.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like we don't talk enough about indicators of needing some rehab. What are some things that you see from your clients, like realistically, show you that they need a bit more, TLC on their hair?
One of the biggest things I see, is shedding.
Shedding
is a big thing, and the amount of shedding. I look at that. Feeling down the hair strand and how that feels. Is it smooth? Does it have heavy ridges in it, right? So that's a huge indicator. Very obvious signs are breakage, right?
Yeah.
Small pieces being breakage. Dryness, usually lack of moisture, styling, heat
Which is,
products.
do you think that's where like, you know how sometimes you can get breakage from braids like really high up? Is that from like a lack of hydration to the hair while it was in the braid? Or is it the actual braiding hair like causing tension and breaking the hair?
So that could be so many different things. I can't say that definitively. I cannot.
Okay.
Because again, I would have to see it, kind of know the client. You know what I mean?
And kind of like their habits and like routine. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I couldn't say whether it's...
But could those both be like reasons why?
Absolutely. I've seen it with my daughter. So my daughter is my little guinea pig, right? But she's an athlete, and we have seen her hair go from like long down her back to, we had to cut it up to like her shoulders. She was devastated. But she's an athlete again. We do natural styling. And again, everything can cause damage, right? It's really about lifestyle around the style too. So she wears rod sets, and she has, a week and a half in a rod set, but she's sweating every day. She works out. She sweats in her head. We're not washing it every day, right?
Yeah.
We're washing it once a week. And man, that back area took a beating, because that's where her sweat kind of settles, and it completely damaged her perimeter. But then
the sweat from her head?
Oh yeah, sweat's full of salts.
It's drying.
Her salt is very drying to the hair, and it dried it out. And then, of course, I do let her get braids, even though I don't like it. I let her get them occasionally. We backdoored it with braids for a vacation we went on in December, and then they were actually those twists. That hair was so hard and rough. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like a rose bush. It was horrible. It was like, I don't know, branches. But so we backdoored it with that, and then she got another style. And man, snap, crackle, pop.
Oh man.
And that was hard, but it was a lesson.
A lesson.
It was a lesson.
I think about that like even with my daughter, because like she sees me doing my hair all the time. So she's already at 5 years old doing her own little buns, doing her own little twists. And she'll try to get into all my hair products and stuff. And so she'll she'll be spraying stuff on her hair that I'm like, that is not what that's for. But, I'm like, okay, now we're at that point where I need to teach her, what to use, what to not to use. But I think about that, like, there are going to be moments, just like we all had, where you go through a bad hair season because you did something that you didn't know what you were doing. And you had to learn that lesson. Like, for me, I was dyeing and frying my hair all through high school.
Girl, me too.
And college and everything.
Absolutely.
And learned those lessons. But it's hard because I'm like, I don't want my daughter to go through that because her hair is so healthy and beautiful because I take care of it. But she's going to have to go through. Same with your daughter. Like, she's going to go through.
It hurt me. It hurt me. It hurt me, but it is. And she has color, right? So it was a number of working things. But again, our lifestyle plays a huge role.
And when you're young, like, you want to have fun with different styles and colors and all of that stuff. Like, so you don't want to be, you can't, so restrictive. Like, you can't do this, you can't, because at the end of the day, like, let them have the creative freedom to try and play and all that kind of stuff with their hair.
And it's a good time when you're young because everything repairs quicker. Right. That's a good thing. I do say. I'm like, get it out your system. Right. As you get older, the hair is not going to grow back as fast. So.
Oh, yeah, we were going to look at more of those comments. Okay, let's look at another comment. My sister wore her hair braided under weaves with a ton of Vaseline on the braids for 3 years straight, redoing the weaves every 10 weeks. No heat, no blow drying. Her hair grew to 26 inches. Today, the total of 6 years later, her hair is about 34 inches at least. She's in her 50s, never had her hair that long when she was younger. Those protective styles definitely help her hair growth as long as you keep your hair moisturized.
Okay, so are we talking about hair growth or are we talking about hair health? Again,
great question. Are we talking?
They are not the same. Going back to that, right? Because that is the staple of health, and it's just simply not the case. Like, you can have long hair all day and it not be healthy. So let's just put it that way. And I'm not talking about her sister in particular,
right?
But I'm saying just in general, what are we talking about? Yeah, and I want to be clear on that.
Yeah,
are we talking about hair growth or are we talking about hair health?
Yeah,
because there are a number of ways to achieve hair growth that might not be healthy. Okay,
so wait, hold on, pause there. What is, let me uncross my legs, because you always tell me uncross my legs.
I'm going to put this head down just a bit.
Okay, so tell us, what is an unhealthy way to grow your hair?
Oh, God. Not doing anything to it. Nothing.
And then just letting it go.
Genetics happen.
Yeah.
But again, it's about the quality, right? We talk about quality and quantity.
Yeah.
Quantity meaning inches in the hair. Yeah. Versus, you can have long hair, but it's not healthy.
Right. It's not going to do it. And the way you can tell that is, does it hold a style well?
Boom.
Is that the biggest indicator you think?
Oh, it's one of the biggest.
Okay.
One of the
like
biggest.
Your hair is long,
obvious.
But it won't curl.
Can't hold a curl, can't hold a style.
Interesting.
Frizzes up immediately. After even a blow dry, it frizzes up easily. After a flat iron, it's frizzing up.
Oh, so that's an indicator that your hair is not healthy. Even
not in the best condition, absolutely.
Yeah, even if you wear your hair natural all the time, say you rock or wash and go, twist out or whatever, but when you do blow it out or press it out and then it frizzes like almost immediately, that means...
It's usually indicative of the porosity in the cuticle not being balanced, so therefore it's slightly raised, so it's allowing moisture in, which causes reversion. So it usually means you don't have a strong, healthy balance of either moisture or protein or both. Also, there is a degree of training. So see, it's such a...
It's nuanced.
It is. There's so many nuances to this.
Yeah.
And I just hate to say, it's all or nothing, but that is a sign. Yes. That usually moisture needs to be balanced. Because I have clients whose hair is heat trained, right? For the most part, it straightens out at last when we do talk about training of the hair. They'll be in braids for 8 weeks. And 8 weeks, let me just give an example of one. She knows who she is, my boo. But she was in braids for like 2 months. She was traveling with work back to back. We had 2 sets of braids back to back.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, her hair silks out amazing. That hair was so dry. Her hair did not smooth out the same way.
Oh, it didn't after the 2 sets of braids?
No, it did not. It did not smooth out the same way. No, it did not. And so in her case, I knew specifically like that was that, because her hair in normal situations is trained. It will last, but we needed to get that moisture balance back. And guess what? We did a couple treatments and she good to go.
Wow.
Yeah, she was good to go. So again, every situation is different. I'm not speaking, but again, are we talking about hair health or are we talking about hair growth? You can have both, and you can also have
one or the other.
And it all depends on, again, this is not us forcing something on anybody. For clients who want healthy hair, it's for them. For clients who want long hair and that's it, awesome. That's great.
What's honestly, your measure of success? Is it healthy or is it long? It can be both. But it can also be either or. It's just a matter of like being realistic with like what is it that you want, because we don't all have the same goal.
No, we don't, and that's okay.
Yeah, because I feel like for me, in this season of my life, my goal is healthy hair. It's not long hair.
Boom.
But because I'm focusing on healthy hair, my hair is growing and it's getting long.
And you're retaining length. So this is the thing about even clients who struggle with heavy manipulation. Say like her sister in this case has not manipulated her hair. That really does help hair growth, because not growth. It helps retention. Because your hair is going to grow if you're healthy. If you have strong blood circulation, if you have healthy follicle, it's going to grow. You can't stop it. Okay.
Yeah.
But the retention is what you see when you're not in it, when you're not manipulating it, when the hair is strong, when it's not dried out and breaking, right?
Yeah.
So we just focus on, again, in the salon, my clients like to have both.
Yeah.
So we do both.
Yeah, we do both. Yeah.
We do both.
Because
we get the benefits of both.
Right. Because I even feel like for me, like my hair growth journey this time around, coming out of my pixie cut, has been so eye-opening, because I've never like started from a big chop before. I've always had long hair, and then I would cut it short and then let it grow out, and then I'd cut it short again and kind of like go through that process. But I also was always like coloring it to a certain extent. I was straightening it at least once a month, if maybe less here or there. So there was always like heat or color happening. But I would say I was good about deep conditioning regularly and things like that most of the time. But I would say even still now my hair is healthier than it's ever been. But this is also the most regular I've been coming to a hairstylist as well. And even whenever like you were coloring my hair before, that was the most regular in my life I had ever been going to a hairstylist. Like when I was getting my curly cuts, I was going maybe once or twice a year. Right? But when it came to when I was getting my hair colored, I was going more often. And then now I'm coming more often every 4-6 weeks to get the treatment done, the hydration treatment that we do, HydraSilk, and then a trim or whatever. And outside of the roller sets, that's a huge piece of it too. But like, I really feel like these deep treatments that we do here at the salon make a huge difference. And I feel like maybe that's the missing piece that people aren't getting. A salon visit doesn't always have to mean like this a full-on transformation. It could mean a deep treatment and a trim.
That's it. Yep.
As long as you can make do with a deep treatment and a trim, figure that out, then like the longevity of your hair health will be higher than, and your hair retention, all of the above will be taken care of.